All right, moment of truth. Here we go. So positive, positive, negative, negative. Make sure these two don't touch. Didn't hear that. No, no. Well, it's hard to hear the fuel pump, but let's see what happens. Moment of truth. Come on, you can do this. Come on, Pegasus. Try it one more time. Oh, almost. Try one more time. Okay. Little tip when you're it wants to go though. Little tip. Start your vehicle. Don't hook up your hook up your cables. Make sure they don't you know, nothing touches. I can't leave that there for long. I just want to start it, and then I'm not gonna leave it long enough there to get hot. Maybe get that off there. Make sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Make sure your cables don't touch, obviously. So your positive, negatives don't touch. Make sure you start your vehicle before you hook up to the bike, because start the vehicle, like hook your bike up, okay, start the vehicle, then hook up that, because the starting system on that might cause problems on your bike. The systems on this are not, they're a little more, they're not delicate, but they're a little more delicate. So is this the moment of truth? We'll see. I think it's gonna do it. Check engine lights on. That sounds like 4 cylinders. Yeah, not quite, eh? Smoke. Sure that doesn't get too hot. Yeah, no, it's 2 cylinders. See, as soon as it almost gets to temperature, it has to get to 40 or 41 before it's in riding mode. Engine lights on too. Yeah, no, it's sort of running on 2 or 3 cylinders. Watch that doesn't get too hot. Yeah, that's definitely not a 4. You can. I just let it get to temperature, so it's idling a little bit high, which it normally does till it gets to operational temperature, and then it comes down. To try it. Gotta make sure that doesn't cook. I can't disconnect the cables because there's no battery in it, right? Try it again. All right, so anyway, yeah, so I'm still running on 2 cylinders. So my problem isn't the bike doesn't want to run. It runs great on those 2 cylinders. It's just, why is it not running on those other 2 cylinders? Or 1 or whatever's missing there. Better watch it. I guess I could shut this off here. I'm gonna do it for time. So if this is happening to your bike, so far of all the research, I've never found a concrete answer, but then again, this is the first time I'm going to be really working on it. Here's what it could be. Obviously, it's not low battery, so I've just ruled that one out. That's good. I had heard from like other vehicles, if it's a low enough battery, it'll go down to 2 cylinders and your speedo will go wonky. I think those T-Rex, Can-Am T-Rex things or Bombardier T-Rex things are like that, whatever the T-Rex is there. And I talked to somebody that had one. They said, yeah, my thing did that, and then they replaced the battery and everything went normal. So I just ruled that out because that battery's fine, that alternator's fine, everything's fine in there. So as you can see, ran the bike. Not bad gas, obviously, because it ran, but notice it didn't backfire. Notice, I don't want to stick my finger in there, the exhaust isn't really wet, because if it could be either an injector problem, a coil problem. I don't think it's a plug problem unless the way the plugs work. If it could just be spark plugs, I would be more than ecstatic if it was something that simple. In the cylinders, which you can't get to easily, what you have is there's like a little, this happens on R6s and everything like that. There's a little, like in between the cylinders, a little like drain plug, so that if water gets in from the top through the coils, it doesn't sit there. And what happens if the water sits there in that little kind of drain that goes across the cylinders gets plugged up, basically your coil's sitting in water. And if that's the case, it shorts out, right? So it could be as simple as that. I won't know until I get the fairing off, the tank off, and all that stuff. If I'm lucky, it's just that this bike will be running like a top in about a couple hours. Remember, I have a problem with Murphy, so I don't think it'll be that simple. It could be plugs, which I can test, but it's time for new plugs for this thing. I do new plugs every 2 years on this anyway. That's any bike, just, you know, plugs are cheap. They're not super cheap. I mean, they're 20 bucks a piece for this on the high side, 11 bucks on the cheap side. So I've ruled out it's not my battery. It wasn't my low battery that made it run on 2 cylinders. It's definitely something in the bike. Now, it could be the CDI box. I pray it's not, because that's a $500 item, that thing. Or sorry, back here. Is that it? Yeah, that's it there. Yeah, that's a CDI box there. What's this thing? Is that the fuse box? I wish I had a manual. Like I can figure it out if you track it all, but which I'm going to have to do. So I'll probably have to take off the tank, take off the fairings. I might not have to take off the fairings, but just to get light in there, it might be a good idea to do. So I'm running on 3. Well, that sounded more like 2 cylinders than 3, because it would make a different kind of, if you've ever heard a triple, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't sound like that there. And when I put my hand on the exhaust, you can feel thump, 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 thump. No, you know, you don't feel that 4 piston pulse. You feel a 2 piston pulse out of there. I know that's not the scientific way, but low tech works no matter what. It'll tell you what's going on. So the other things to eliminate would be, plugs, that draining across the cylinders being plugged up. Then after that, it's coil. Then after that, it's CDI box. Or it could be a bunch of different things, right? Coils do go bad, and they're about 180 bucks a pop. But like anything, you don't want to put money into anything until you can diagnose the problem, because you could throw 2,500 bucks at something, and that's fine and great and dandy, but it's no good if you're not fixing the problem, right? I want to fix the problem. The bike was pretty reliable. How far did I get on it before it actually got to this state? Well, basically 10,000 K or 6,000 miles, and I had to do work on it. Now, it's a sport bike. This sport bike is, I don't believe, bone stock. It's a fast 600. It's not the fastest 600, but for its age, let's put it to you this way. If you were to take a 2002 Thunder Race 1000, this will keep up to it and maybe even pass it. That's how fast this is. Thunder Race was the slower of the 1000s back in the day, and that was a fast bike. if I'm going by what I'm finding on YouTube, it's like, yeah, this bike is as fast as a Thunder Race 1000 at 600. I know it's like the 600cc that goes. It's a ton and a half bike, if you know what that means. It's a ton and a half bike. How do I know? I just know. I'm not going to tell you how I know, but I know. So it's a fast bike, and it gets up there very, very quickly. You're talking under 20 seconds to get up there, so it's like, it's fast. Yeah, you can get the pull your arms off feeling off this little beast. It's an awesome machine, awesome machine. So at least I got one thing ruled out. So I know it's not my battery that was doing it. Now it's a matter of, I gotta watch my time here. Keep it all in one video. Now it's get the tank off. I won't do that today because I want to line my tank. Well, I'm gonna see if it's a good idea. I'm gonna talk to some techs first to see if it's a good idea to put tank liner in there. Because if I have to have the tank off it for like, 6 months to, whatever, the rest of the summer, while I'm trying to diagnose the problem, hopefully it won't be that long. I don't want the tank to rust on me. The nice thing about these tanks is you can take the whole fuel pump thing out. You got a nice big thing and you can keep it clean. The other option is take the tank off, drain it. Maybe I'll make a part 2 video here.